First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Always appreciate you joining us here. We are live streaming on YouTube, on Facebook, on our website, and our apps, but we know what you're talking about right now. It's what's coming, or is it happening already? I've been seeing people posting that there's snow happening. I'm Greg Nibbler here with Katie Zuniga, going to be talking about what's happening up there.
Yes,
so
the update. So
yeah, the
we
update.
have seen snow falling in Longview, and we've seen it in the Westland Lake Oswego area, but this is just the start.
It's the very beginning coming in.
The very beginning of what we have been tracking. Basically, what we do is our extended forecast is 7 to 10 days out, and that's when we kind of look at what's coming down the pipeline, and that's about as far as we can see. And last Thursday, when we recorded our podcast, we were talking about Friday is going to look really cold. It looks like there might be some Arctic air coming in, so we've been tracking it as we've gotten closer and closer to today, and it stayed trending in the up position. It didn't trend down really.
Yeah, it's been interesting just since you talked about that last week and just hearing, the rumors, maybe, possibly, and just slowly as the week goes on to, something's coming.
Yes, and I have my handy dandy iPad here where I can show you just what is just ahead of us. So first thing I want to do is just kind of give you an idea of how our big and snow and ice storms happen. What we have is this cold air that moves south east of the Cascades, and it basically gets into the Dalles, and then it just gets funneled right into us with that east wind. This is what happened last February when we had that big snowstorm. That was just a couple weeks into the month, and that's what we're having right now is this cold air that's pouring in through the gorge into the metro area. And then we have a low pressure system that's sitting just offshore coming toward us. By the time it makes its way onshore and it has all of that moisture in it, that cold air moves underneath the moisture in the upper air, and then it rises up and then it turns into the snow. So that's how we get these big snow and ice storms. Sometimes it's a combination of snow and freezing rain, which is what we're looking at this time. And it usually enters the metro, it gets snow all at once. It's not like one of those like accumulations, just kind of like, just like last year. It came in, it dumped on the commute home, and then it went away. This time, and as you can see here, we're expecting the slow return to warm. At this point, anything that falls today should stay with us until Tuesday.
Wow.
Tuesday is the next time we expect to get above freezing. So even though it's going to dry out as far as Sunday and Monday go, there's still going to be ice on the ground or whatever snow that falls because we're not expecting things to warm up. So I want to go over a couple of quick headlines for you. The I-5 corridor, Longview to Albany. So it's going to be drier in Portland today. We've seen a few things, but not much. Some flurries and up to an inch as we go into the evening. The rain to snow chance, and then ice to the south. And we'll get into that here. I have a scene for you to see that, a graphic.
Great.
Saturday morning, precipitation increases. Snow, freezing rain, ice pellets. Remember, we just talked about all the combination of things possibly happening. That's what we're looking at. 2 to 6 inches in the metro and up to a ½ inch of ice to our south here. So that's the snow and ice part. And then high winds, metro, extremely cold, easterly gusts. And this is where we're talking about that cold air coming in. 35 to 50 miles per hour, 20 to 25. That's tonight into tomorrow. So very, very cold, what we're coming in. Okay, here are our current temperatures. Now you can see a nice line there that shows you where that Arctic air is and that it's moving toward us. So it's now just starting to get into Madras, pretty close to government camp. But look at the temperatures down in Eugene and Salem and Florence. You can tell how that cold air mass is progressing through. So those are our current temperatures. Now let's take a look at what happens when you include that east wind. So this is today, 6 o'clock. This is that sort of feels like temperature, right?
Yeah.
Because you have that
with
really
that wind
cold
coming in.
Easterly wind coming in, yep. And then you go overnight into Saturday afternoon. Yes, that's
man.
that's the feels like temperature again, right? You have that cold wind. And then you progress into Sunday. Look at this, still not warming up too much, still feeling very cold. Okay, This is the timeline, so you can see what we're expecting as we go through. So the temperatures, we've already hit the warmest part of the day. We are starting to cool down as that Arctic air is coming in. So we will be below freezing by the time we get into that 6, 7 o'clock hour, and we stay below freezing all the way through Sunday morning. As far as the snow goes, this is the metro area, none to an inch, but look at that Saturday morning with the cold air and the temperatures, and we talked about we get up to 6 inches. And then if you look at the ice, there's a few spots, but it's mainly going to be to the south, about a ½ inch we talked about of the ice thick. And then slick roads. Oh yes, spotty, slick roads, icy, blowing snow, all the kind of stuff that you really should not be out driving in. Snow forecast. Now we're going to show you a couple of different models here. One's not working right now, but at least this is going to give you an idea. So we always talk about this, how we track, when we do these forecasts, we don't just look at one model. We don't just pick the one we like and go with that. We take several different models, put that into consideration. So this is as of 4 o'clock tomorrow, where you see the possibility for snow. This is the Canadian model. That's why you see the little Canadian flag there.
Okay.
This is the European model. It always tends to go heavy on rain, precipitation, temperatures, all of that. And we keep that in mind when we are forecasting, is the European just likes go big or go home.
I'm curious as to why that is, but
because these
Europeans
all these
like to-
models, they take the current conditions, if people don't know what models do, and then they plug it in and they do all the number crunching and put everything in, and they come out with their outcome. And that's why they're constantly updating, is they're taking current conditions, putting them in the computing. And the European model and the ensembles, that's multiple outcomes, not just the operational one. They all come up with this idea that it's going to be more. There's the American ones. You can see how much different. And the HRRR, that is the highest resolution. So that's the one that I want you to pay attention to on this particular one.
Okay.
That's, it's harder to get good forecasting when you have microclimates like we do here, both sides of the Cascades. And the HRRR is better when you get closer to an event because you can get more detailed information. Because if you tried to punch in a week's worth of information in this, you wouldn't get a model run for 2-4 days. But if you take shorter spouts, only look through the next 12 hours, you can run it more frequently and get more detailed information. So we're really paying attention to what that one says. And then this is the other American model that we use, and this is the one we typically use on air when we're showing to you. And those, you
Which
can
one
see
is
those
this?
two. The graph.
Graph.
Yep, that's the one we're typically, when we're showing you on air, that we're using when we're showing clouds or rain or snow or anything that's coming through. Okay, I promised ice. Here we go. Ice glazing. There you go. So by the time we get tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock, you can see basically just north of Salem and down, we're starting to see a layer of ice coming in. Then,
Game of Thrones right there.
yep.
Yes,
Pass
yeah.
forward to Monday, and you can see the color gradient. If you look up at the top, you can see that's getting up to 3/4, maybe even some areas you can see are in that inch. So this is the ice layover that we're talking about, and that's where we see, if you see the Portland area, that's right around that, 1/4 inch or so. But as you go farther south in the valley, so everywhere from Salem down to Albany, Corvallis needs to be ready for this to be very, very icy, more ice than snow.
I mean, 0.7 inches, that's a lot of ice.
That is a very
down.
nice, thick, heavy layer. Definitely something we wanted to make sure and point out for you. So that's a nice little fun little tilt there. Okay, now, here we go. This is what I was telling you. This is the graph model. What I want to walk you through. Actually, can we
Yeah,
come
you
back
wanna
up
switch
to here?
over here?
Yeah, let's switch over here so I can kind of do some pointing out for you. So keep in mind here that we have your basically your what each one of the colors mean, and we're in that potential here. You can see going down and all the way through. Let's fast forward it to the next pause point and look right here. This is tonight at 9 o'clock. You're starting to see that ice, those ice pellets coming in, and this is everywhere, as you can tell, south of Eugene or south of Portland metro area. We're still dry at this point here. That's what this one model is. This is that graph we were talking about.
And that's
Now,
this evening. I'm sorry, that's at
yeah,
9 p.m. Friday.
That was 9 p.m. tonight.
Okay.
Now, if you go to tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., do you see all of that?
Yeah,
So
that is,
everything south of the metro, that's all getting into the ice pellets and the freezing rain, but you're seeing snow up here. Look at that east wind. You see that funneling it down? So there's where we have it, and then it's coming in and then shooting offshore. So you're looking at ice all the way there along the coast in most areas. You have the ice pellets and the freezing rain all the way through here, and then some snow in the Portland metro, and then over to the mountains. So that's tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Let's fast forward a little farther. Now this is by 6 o'clock. We're starting to dry out, but we still have that east wind. We still have the ice pellets, still have the freezing rain all the way into the evening on Saturday south of the metro. And then now we get to Sunday at 7 a.m. and you'll notice we're dry, but you also notice that temperature
Yeah.
It's still very cold. Now, we think that this particular model sometimes tends to be a little on the colder side. Mark said if we reach that 18 degrees, that would be the coldest we've had here in decades. So, not that it's impossible, but we're expecting it to be in the 20s. That's just a little chillier. We'll see how that turns out. We're now going all the way through till Monday morning. Still cold, but sunny skies. Okay, but still very, very, very.
But all that stuff will still be on the ground.
Still be on the ground.
Yeah.
Yep, and still look at that east wind. That is just jamming right there. That is no joke.
What do you expect the wind speeds to be on Monday? Is it going to last with those really high speeds through there? Sorry, I just threw that question at you, but
I can pull that up. I thought I did have a wind one, but I guess I didn't put it in. So we can pull that one up. So
okay.
Let's bring this back up full so we can look at this together here. So this is our first alert weather. We have that very cold snow and wind. All right, so blasts of cold air arrives tonight, metro area, frozen late Friday into Monday. 2 to 6, mainly Saturday metro area, blowing and drifting snow. So mainly dry today, but the solid snow and ice for Saturday. Now I want to see, let me just do one of those off the cuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is so much information that you've got here.
Yeah, and I wanna do you all justice. So let me see if I can pull up here real quick.
The thing that, it's definitely concerning was that combination of all of this with that wind.
Yes.
Because limbs, power outages, I would imagine that's going to be a pretty big concern for a lot of people. And for those watching as well, just, for the roads, we've had some interviews, even here on Fox 12 now, but all throughout our broadcast, just talking about the dangers of being out on the road in this. It's advised not to if you don't have to.
Yes, and most schools have already closed for the day.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was talking to my husband, he already has our kids home.
Yeah.
And I said, just hunker down, make sure that, everything's set, flashlights are out,
Yep.
blankets are ready.
I did the same thing at my house too, yeah.
Let the dog out early, which is another factor that, most people that have pets know, but pets being outside, that kind of thing. All right, wind gust forecast. So I was able to pull that up for you.
Nice, thank you.
So here we have, this is tonight around 7 o'clock, so you can see 30s to 40s through the gorge, getting into those upper 20s, 30s there. I didn't have time to get through and see if there's any nice pause points on this. But I see, there we go. So this is tomorrow morning. There you go, 55, 60,
wow.
62, 48, 36, 59. All of this, that's that east wind that's coming through. Let's see if we have any more pause points in here. And there you go. So this is by Monday. So it doesn't really slow down much. I didn't see anything, but you see around the 20s, I think was about the slowest that I've seen. And this is as far out as that.
So that's a few days of this going on.
Yeah, it's not backing off too incredibly much. It's just basically what happens is the Cascades works as almost a funnel, and this wind is coming down right through the one spot that the Cascades break up. So this is all coming straight down from Canada, just running right down along the East Cascades through Washington, finding one tiny little opening and then just shoving it all into us.
Going right over us. Yeah.
Right over us, yep. And that's what happens when we get our big snow and ice storms. So that's how that happens. So one more thing I wanted to bring up here before
by all means.
we finish up is this. So I know we talk about this Fox 12 weather app quite a bit, but I want to make sure and take an opportunity, because I don't get to do this too much when we're on air, is what we use this for and why we have it. It's not just something that's there. With this app, with our app, we specifically put our temperatures, our precipitation chances, our information on it. So most weather apps, ones that come with your phone or ones you download, they're all computer generated things, and they use just one model. So as I showed you, we had multiple models, 3 or 4 that we looked at, and you could see how much they vary. So if one person had a model that showed only a ½ inch and someone else had one that showed 6 inches, that's the danger of using just a computer generated weather app. When you use ours, you are getting our forecast. The other thing is as these events happen, and the example I have is when we had that tornado back here just a few months ago, I was doing things, I was working on stuff, I was over here with you while Mark was on updating people through the app. So what that means is we do regular updates through the app throughout the day as things are happening. So if something's happening and it's not during a newscast, we record something then and there as it's happening, current information, and then you can sign up for alerts to get to your phone that says, hey, happening now, heavy rain, tornado threat, tornado warning, blizzard warning, high winds, those sort of things. And so if you really, really want to stay connected with what's happening as it happens, we send out 5 or 6 of them notifications a day with actual weather that's happening.
So download that app.
If you want to
Download that
stay,
app. I'll throw it up there one more time, just so you can see it there.
if you want to stay connected and you want stuff as it's happening, you don't want to have to wait till a newscast comes on or wait and see what happens till some alert comes out. We do it right then.
I do see a couple of questions here
Yeah.
that people had. I don't know if you
Sure, let's give it a shot.
somebody asked north of Longview up by 5, up that far. I know that we heard there was some snow coming down already up there.
Yep. So basically what we've been seeing is the thing to know is that it is going to depend on.
Oh, sorry, I don't know if you're
No,
ready
it's
for
okay.
that or not.
No, go for it. I'm trying
This
to
is Fox
find-
12 now, by the way, for everybody who's joining us. This is your first time watching. We go live every weekday at 1 p.m., so I just want to plug that here. We cover a lot of different things on here, but this is
Yes.
also, more of a casual conversation, too, that
Yeah.
we get to have with Katie
Okay, here we
about
go.
this.
So this is what we are talking about, and I'll give you an example if you're paying attention to what happened Tuesday night into Wednesday. So we have a center of low pressure, and those work sort of like, maybe that's not the right, I was going to say like a vacuum, but it's the other way around. Think of high pressure being a bully, and it's going to push things where it wants to go, and a low pressure center is the path of least resistance. So when the high pressure is moving things around, everything rushes to that low pressure center. And so when you have this low pressure center that's coming toward our coastline, that's what's drawing that east wind through. That's
Pulling it in.
It's more of a push, because I want to make sure,
Sorry. That was my terminology.
Yeah.
Don't listen to me.
It's for lack of a better term, it's just sort of being sucked in, because it's like, where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? That's where I'm going to go. It's like water
Gotcha.
in a river. It's going to take the path of
finding
least
that.
resistance. Yep. So that's what's kind of pulling that through. If the low pressure center comes in where it is, then we're looking at everything happening Longview to Albany. If, as it's coming in, it decides it wants to go a little farther north or a little farther south, that's going to shift the impact of all this. So if it's farther south, then that'll drop down below the metro area. And there are some models that showed that it came in, this was coming in and going to be so far enough south that everything happened below us. But where it's tracking right now at Longview and to Albany is where the center of everything is going to happen. And then anybody above Longview or below Albany kind of gets the fringe, the outline.
Yeah. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that does.
Hopefully that helps.
That absolutely
question.
makes sense, and that's why you're constantly updating these and going through all of this.
Yep. And we have what time is it right now? So we have probably new model runs that have come in just recently. There's like 6 different models that we regularly look at, and then they have 4 updates a day. Some have 2, and so we have new ones that are coming in. That's why this is about the time the weather team's probably
working on that right
now. They're probably working
Yeah.
on it right now, and then we have a new model run that comes in around 6 o'clock, and then another one that comes in around 11. So
so it's staggered a little bit on there, and then you take all of those and combine them, and then
so they're
make your
putting it right now
determination.
for like the 4, 5, and 6, and then they'll look at the 6th and then update it for the 8, 9, and 10, and then when it comes in at 10, they'll update it for the later newscasts.
You all are very busy right now. Yeah.
Any other questions we wanted to try?
Let's see. I think just somebody was asking about Newburgh and Tualatin. I would imagine that's probably going to be pretty similar to what we're getting.
Yep, I
or
hope.
What's happening in Portland.
Let's see.
We're out in Beaverton right now, but
Where's the...
we'll take a look here. Again, we're looking at your questions here. This is coming from Facebook, so if you're watching, that's why I'm looking at my phone. I'm trying to read the questions that you're sending in here. and
I'm going to
see
go
if
all
there's
the
any
way
for-
to the one that we
for Katie.
typically show on. There we go. So hopefully you know where you're at on this map. This is the snow forecast. So find yourself in there and then look at that legend across the top. Find kind of where you are, that corresponding number. Know that this is that graph, that American model, the one that we use the most. And that's kind of, I like that one because it's kind of right in the middle. It kind of gives you like an average of what we're looking at.
Yeah.
So that's the snow one. And then we'll hop over so you can put.
That's showing maybe a little bit more snow west there.
Yes.
Was it?
Yes, of course. And then let's see, this is tomorrow morning. I'm going to go ahead and just go all the way to the end.
Sure.
There we go. So hopefully that will help with ice. Again, legend up at the top, corresponding to kind of where you're at and color. So that maybe will help.
Yeah, absolutely. That does for everybody. And and like you said, things could change.
Yeah.
This could shift. But that's why if you follow along, as Katie mentioned with the app, you can get those updates. And I'll pull that up there one more time just so you have that, especially when we have big things like this that are coming in, that could really affect a lot. Travel, power outages. There's a lot that could go on with this.
Yes,
potentially.
as soon as it starts snowing, if we see snow like on Tuesday night, we saw it at the coast, we immediately jumped on and said, hey, snow just turned, rain turned to snow in Seaside. Now we're tracking it. Now it's hit the Coast Range. Now it's hit the west side of the metro, and so we update as they come on, so people see these coming as quickly as we possibly can. So we will definitely be doing this for you all tonight too.
All right. Well, follow along there with all the updates that Katie and the whole team will be bringing you. So really appreciate your time being here with us.
Anytime.
And I kind of learned a lot too, actually, during that. So I always love learning more about how that all works. So appreciate it. And for all of you watching, again, this is Fox 12 Now. So all of our segments are available for you to watch afterward. YouTube, Facebook.
I just thought of something too.
Yes.
If you go to our website and go to the weather page, Mark also does very detailed blog posts.
Yes.
They're amazing, and they have the general information at the top and then kind of more of the weather aficionados details at the bottom if you're someone who's interested in getting a little more of the scientific-y stuff and how things correspond here.
Yeah, I was going to try to pull it up just to show you, but it's Mark's blogs are great.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, you put those. There's Andy right there.
That's from this morning, but there should be a blog. Let's see if we can find it.
Oh, I guess I don't have it pulled up anyway. So, but yeah, it's on there. So definitely go to the website, kptv.com, go through the weather, and then you can find Mark's blog and through First Alert Weather there. And
it's right here. There we go.
The
so
weather
there it
blog.
is. I don't know if you guys can see that.
I probably should have pulled that one up.
It's right there. Yeah.
But go to the website, go to the weather blog. Take a look at what Mark's posting there as well. And of course, we'll have all of our newscasts. We could have breaking news if that comes in. You never know. But right here on Fox 12 Now, we'll keep you up to date throughout the afternoon as well. So anytime between 1 and 4, that's where we're here at this desk, live streaming on the apps, the website, social media, and those different places. And we get to have these conversations, a little bit more of a relaxed style, and get to take some of your questions. So appreciate everybody who's joining us. Thank you, Katie.
Yeah, anytime, like I said.
Yep, and we have more coming up. So we will, let's see, at 1:30 p.m., actually I'm going to be talking to an author. So we're going to switch gears from the weather for just a minute.
Who is a good book, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now is the time. It's a book called Secret Portland, A Guide to the Weird, Wonderful, and Obscure. So we'll find out a little bit more about that coming up at 1:30. And we have the Fox 12 Weather Podcast video edition at 2. So
yes, and we do
at
go
the top of
into
next hour.
some more details than I did here with that. And it's Mark leading that one.
So 2 p.m., you'll definitely want to be watching that. So whatever platform, wherever you're watching right now, that's where you'll want to be. But we'll sign off right now. Thank you, Katie.
Yeah.
I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.